So today I'm just monkeying around with my new asset on the farm that we dug last fall, our little starter pond dugout. I'd like it to be bigger, but working with what we got. So last fall we had some equipment come out and we did our starter pond here. Now, being close to the economy, which I always advocate for, I have a lot of clay and I have a lot of people coming to get clay for them building their own roads, driveways, approaches, building sites and things. And so as we get rid of clay, we dig more. But for now, this little starter pond filled up with the minimal runoff that we had. It's weird, we had a lot of snow, except the snow had like evaporated. Like it's been so dry in the fields, like I'm sure the ground just sucked it up, and I swear it like freeze dried. It sublimated. The snow, which is a solid, turned into a gas without going into a liquid, a lot of it. But I can't complain. There's probably 8 feet at the deepest point. We did steep edges. So there's a fair bit of water here. I'm going to try my brook trout in here because they're going to be struggling in the greenhouse. And the reason why I put this pond here, when we first bought the land, it was really, really wet that period. And then from then it got dry. So in this low area, it flooded out all poplar trees everywhere, and it was just dead poplar and foxtails. So I cleaned it up, burned it out, and I had this low spot. Now my fence way up there, I literally built our yard fence because because that's where the water was, right? So I had to kind of control overflows. I have kind of like a swale system ditch over here, and then way out back is an also overflow. Our land slopes high to the south and lower to the north, so this has a maximum level. I put riprap around all the edges for when this pond is big enough and high enough. It's going to have little waves in the wind and kind of erode the side, so that's riprap. And anyways, it's proper pond design. Now the reason why I put this pond, I put it close to our yard site. It's all in tight proximity. So the greenhouse is right there. Behind this little crappy sheltered fence is our main little household vegetable garden. Over here is our orchard, about an acre, and then a bunch more gardens kind of up there. So the pond is another valuable asset, water source for us on the farm. So when talking about homesteading, farming, or prepping, as they call it, I just call it being normal, you want redundancy. So we have a really good well, but the well is cold, hard water. It's not the best to give directly to plants. Well water, or pond water, will be warmer than well water, and the plants will appreciate it more. And then off of the shop and greenhouse, I also have 10,000 liters on a water tower, rainwater collection. So we got rain, well, and pond. And today I just put out this little garden pump I got from Vevor.ca, and I'm just doing kind of a little test and actually climatizing my brook trout before I put them in the water. So this is actually not as cold as our well already. It's still pretty cold, and the brook trout are used to kind of warmer water, so they're struggling a little bit in the greenhouse. So I'm pumping water every so often with this little garden pump. I just plug it in and do water changeovers a couple times a day, and then I'll be putting the brook trout in here, and we'll see how good they do. I'm going to have to feed them. Obviously, this isn't making its own ecosystem, so a commercial trout feed, but yeah, it's all a big experiment. We'll see how it goes. So with this new asset, this is just a little temporary solution. Took me 5 minutes. This pump's super light. Carry it down and put it in this nice clean water and plug it in and pumps it up. But as a more permanent solution in the future. Like up until now, we've just been using our well pump to tie into all of our trunk lines around multiple acres and drip line system. So it's really tough on that well pump, and it's cold water, and with this drought, our well's down quite a bit. So I'd like a more permanent solution for this. So even in the greenhouse, I'm going to collect rainwater and hook up my irrigation system. That's like first project. There'll be a big video coming out. But with our water tanks, the pump off of that. But also in the summertime with this asset, I'm thinking about a permanent pump house now as I kind of monkey around and experiment with this. So a permanent fair weather pump house, and put a jet pump. Maybe I get a little bit bigger one than this with a pressure switch and stuff. And then I can tie it into all of my trunk lines, which are readily available, and also tie it into the greenhouse. And with that pressure switch on the pump, whenever the drip system, fully automated drip system calls, it'll just pull from the pond system. So in the wintertime, I'll pull from my tanks. In the summertime, if it rains ever and actually fills up the tanks, I can pull from there. I can also pull from here, and I can also pull from my well. So water is one of our most vital resources, as everybody with a brain knows, right? So I'm happy to say this little video today was brought to you by Vevor.ca. I buy a ridiculous amount of stuff off Vevor, more than Amazon, because Vevor has essentially production equipment of every massive thing that I'm into. So I've bought vacuum pumps, water pumps. Vevor sent me this little one to do a test, this cheap little one, and it works great. It's super light. I just carried it down. I've bought landscaping fabric, fencing supplies, butcher equipment, the carbon dioxide generator for the greenhouse, my carbon dioxide generator from Vevor. It makes all life on Earth. All of my in-floor heat PEX pipe for both the shop and the greenhouse. Like, literally, I went to the wholesaler and they're like, well, how much is a roll of oxygen barrier 1/2-inch PEX? And the wholesaler's like, well, it'll take us a week to get it, and it'll be whatever it was, $800 for a roll. And then I go to Vevor and I got 2 rolls for like less than half the price, and it's the same stuff from the same place. Plumbing manifolds. So when Vevor reached out, they're like, hey, we certain equipment, like, you let us know if we send it to you, can you include it in videos? I'm like, yeah. All these other companies are reaching out, and I don't have any experience with it, but Vevor, I'm like, the amount of stuff I've bought off Vevor, you guys keep sending me stuff, and I will definitely review it, because I buy it anyways and I use it anyways. So like and subscribe and shop at Vevor so they keep sending me stuff. This YouTube thing is awesome. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.